Hi, welcome to episode 6 of Wellness Ki Vartalap season 3. This topic focuses on the art of being your authentic self. Now, if you've been following me on Facebook, on Insta, on LinkedIn, and YouTube, you would know by now that we've redefined wellness as the art of being your authentic self. But before I get there, let me talk about some statistics around consciousness and living in ignorance. I'd come across this research. I think it was an anonymous research in 2020, or I think the start of 2021. They had said that 20%, only 20% of the global population is conscious of what they're doing, is living life consciously. While the balance 80%, which is approximately 6.34 billion people, are living in ignorance. So, what do you mean by living in ignorance? Living in ignorance is, we may be doing things similar to the ones who are perhaps living their life consciously. We may be successful, but we may be doing things mechanically, right? So, people like us, I consider myself someone who's between leading a life, uh, living in ignorance, and somewhere between living consciously. I'm yet to reach the 20%, and I'm working towards it. So let's be a part of this journey where we move towards leading a conscious life. But before that, it's essential to understand what does it mean by living in ignorance. So when we live in ignorance, when we are living in ignorance, we may be doing things mechanically. We may be performing well. We may be a high potential. But again, as I said, we may not be able to manage our emotions. We may have our usual ups and downs. We may not be able to, accept our shortcomings, embrace our failures. Lot of stress. We may keep worrying about the future, brooding over the past, holding grudges against people, getting angry and irritated on silly things. We're only focusing on meeting the targets. We're only focusing on meeting on leading a life mechanically. When I say mechanically, typically you may have heard people that अब शादी हो गई, बच्चा कब होगा, बच्चे हो गए, दूसरा बच्चा कब होगा, दूसरे बच्चा हो गया, अब बच्चों की पढ़ाई का क्या हो रहा है, करियर क्या होगा. You get involved in this vicious circle of relationships and commitments. Now, obviously, a person who's perhaps say leading a conscious life, that person may also have his or her family. They are also managing relationships, managing works, but they are perhaps able to do it consciously. Living in ignorance is like living in the darkness, right? But since this topic is about art of being your authentic self, let me just focus on that. So when you want to be your authentic self, the first step is to identify what is stopping us from leading a conscious life. What is holding us back? What are our fears? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the emotional triggers that are driving us daily? When a person is leading a conscious life, or a person who's being his or her authentic self, this person is fine making mistakes. This person embraces failures. This person is fine being awkward, fine being silly, right? So you can be vulnerable as well as courageous at the same time. You don't have to be like, oh my God, I made this mistake. What do I do now? Being your authentic self allows you to take a step back, allows you to loosen up, and allows you to bounce forward in life in the face of adversities and challenges. I will be talking more about authentic self and about leading a conscious, authentic, and purposeful life from January onwards. But for now, I would want to tell you that there are many benefits of leading a conscious life. Be fine with making mistakes, be fine with failures. No matter what decisions you've taken for your life, just go ahead. Some people may have decided to take a break from work. Some may have, chosen to start their own venture. Some may have moved to another company. No matter how tough the situation is, just hang in there. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in your capabilities, and if you believe in the power of your purpose, you will get there. And that is what makes you lead a conscious life. That's what makes you be your authentic self. Just be yourself, guys. Just be yourself. और कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, राइट? पैसा आएगा। लिविंग इन इग्नोरेंस में भी आपको उतना ही पैसा मिलेगा जितना आपको लिविंग इन कॉन्शियसनेस में मिलता है। लेकिन अगर आप कॉन्शियस लाइफ जगोगे तो जो पैसा आपको मिला है, आप उससे अपनी क्वालिटी और भी इंप्रूव कर सकते हो। We'll talk about it later. For now, I only want you to remember is that just be who you are. You don't have to fake it. If you're feeling uncomfortable, connect to that discomfort ना बाबा। क्या प्रॉब्लम है? झूठ क्यों बोल रहे हो? झूठ नहीं बोलना है हमने। हम जो है वो है, हम जो नहीं है वो हमको दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है। कुछ नहीं होगा उससे हासिल। Just be who you are and you will get what you want because you are worth it. Thank you. All the best and God bless.